17 banks just went live on a blockchain ledger built by Swift, not Ripple, not a startup. Swift, the messaging network that's run global banking since 1973. For years, the story was simple. Swift is old plumbing. Ripple is new plumbing. Ripple wins. That story just got a lot more complicated. This is the ledger truth. Let's define something first, because this word gets thrown around and misunderstood constantly. Messaging is not the same as settlement. Messaging means sending an instruction. Move this money from bank A to bank B. It's like sending a certified letter that says, pay this person. The letter isn't the money, it's the instruction to move the money. Settlement is the actual movement of value, the money changing hands, final, done. For 50 years, Swift only did the first part. It sent the instructions. Banks still had to settle through something called correspondent banking, a system where banks hold accounts inside other banks in the currencies they need, just to be ready to move money when the instruction arrives. Those accounts have a name, Nostro and Vostro accounts. Nostro means ours in Latin, money we hold at another bank. Vostro means yours, money another bank holds with us. Banks have to pre-fund these accounts, sometimes in dozens of currencies, just in case a payment comes through that's trillions of dollars sitting idle, just for readiness. Now, Swift has a live blockchain ledger. 17 banks are already on it. And Swift has said publicly that its ambition is programmable money, payments that execute automatically when conditions are met without a human authorizing every single transaction. That's not messaging anymore. That starts to look like settlement. Here's where the plain language bridge matters most, because the confusion around Ripple is almost always this exact mistake. Ripple has roughly 300 banking partners on its network, RippleNet, but only about 40% of them use the part of Ripple that actually touches XRP. That product is called on-demand liquidity, or ODL. It converts one currency into XRP, moves the XRP in 3 to 5 seconds, then converts it back into the destination currency on the other side. No pre-funded Nostro account required. The other 60%, they use RippleNet purely as a messaging layer. Same category Swift has occupied for decades. They never touch XRP at all. So when you see a headline that says Bank X partners with Ripple, that headline by itself tells you nothing about XRP demand. It could mean ODL, it could mean messaging. Those are two completely different businesses wearing the same company name. This is the distinction most coverage skips, and it's the one that actually determines whether XRP has a role in the outcome of this Rails war, or whether Ripple wins as a company while XRP sits on the sidelines. Here's the honest answer, not the hype answer. Swift going live with a blockchain ledger validates the thesis Ripple has been selling for a decade, that programmable, always-on settlement beats pre-funded correspondent banking. That's a win for the idea. But validating the idea is not the same as XRP capturing the demand. Swift's ledger doesn't require XRP. It doesn't require any bridge asset at all unless Swift chooses to build one in. Banks could settle on Swift's blockchain using tokenized deposits, stablecoins, or central bank digital currencies, with XRP nowhere in the transaction. So the real question isn't blockchain versus Swift, it's when banks modernize their settlement rails, do they route that settlement through a bridge asset like XRP or through assets Swift and the banks themselves control? That's not decided yet. And anyone telling you it's already decided in either direction is selling you certainty the data doesn't support. This isn't a price prediction video. It's an infrastructure video. What's actually happening is a race between two models of trust. Swift's model, banks trust Swift's governance and now Swift's ledger. Ripple's model, banks trust a public neutral asset, XRP, to bridge between currencies without needing anyone's permission. Both models can coexist. Both are being built out, live, right now in parallel. The 17 banks on Swift's ledger and the 40% of RippleNet using ODL are not necessarily the same institutions making an either-or choice. Many are testing both. That's the ledger truth. This isn't a war with a winner declared this year. It's two infrastructure bets running side by side. And the data over the next few years, not the headlines this week, will tell you which one banks actually route real volume through. Swift didn't just build a blockchain to compete with Ripple for headlines. It built one because the old system, trillions parked in idle accounts waiting, doesn't survive contact with what banks now know is possible. The question isn't whether that old system dies, it's already dying. The question is who owns the rails that replace it. Subscribe for the next entry in this series where we track exactly how much of that 40% real ODL volume is actually growing.